Hello, you are listening to Cali Chats, a healthy living podcast with a goal of helping you find true happiness within your mind, body, and soul. I'm Jessie Cali, and it is time to get real. Welcome to another episode of Cali Chats. I'd like to start off with another big thank you to everyone who has supported me on this new journey with podcasting and vlogging. Y'all are amazing, and your support has not gone unnoticed, I promise. Today, we are going to dig into the topic of battling with not being enough. I think if we're all honest with ourselves, we have all at some point battled with the thought of not being enough. We can feel this way for so many reasons. Maybe you're feeling this way because of a significant other or your family, maybe your job, friend, or maybe you just don't feel like enough for yourself. Regardless of what reason is making you feel this way, let me start off by saying this. First and foremost, you are enough and you do matter. Now, I know me saying that may not be enough to convince you yet, but my goal is by the end of this podcast, you will know in your heart that you are enough. So to get there, first we need to break down how we sometimes mistakenly measure being enough. Here's the thing. You have always been enough, more than enough, because being you and waking up every day to take on the day, being your best self, is exactly what makes you enough. So getting back to what I just said about how we get caught up mistakenly in measuring if we're enough, how do we get to that feeling? Unfortunately, it is built into literally every single thing that we do in life. Think back to grade school. The kids with better grades or the ones with athletic talent always seem to measure up more, right? Or get treated a little better by the teachers and coaches. And now I'm not calling out my teachers and coaches, but I'm just saying, you get better grades, sometimes you get that bigger smile, get that bigger award. Or let's think about growing up at home with a family. The good kids are the ones who don't talk back, who clean up after themselves willingly, and the well-behaved, right? Obviously. I remember I was always listed as the troublemaker. I was listed by my family. But no, me and my brother, Josh, we were always the troublemakers of the family. And sometimes you measure your worth based on these labels or these things that you might get on you for whatever reason. I was just a goof. I was a troublemaker. But that didn't mean I wasn't enough, right? Or maybe let's think about being an adult. There are endless ways we try to measure up to being enough being an adult. Having a great career and salary for one. Maybe having a marriage or kids and family for two. Or buying a house for three. But none of these things matter. You can have all the stuff and do all the things and still feel empty inside and feel like you are not enough. We have to stop comparing ourselves to others and trying to match up, because that's not the answer. It's totally not the answer. Think about it. If I sat here thinking because I'm 29, turning 30 this year, with no husband or kids, that I'm not enough, that would be ridiculous. Of course I'm enough. Heck, I literally chose this life that I am living. I made a priority in my life to chase after my career and to be well-traveled. And guess what? I'm doing that. I'm doing great at that. And I'm sure there is someone else who, on the other hand, looks at my life and measures their worth. Maybe people look at the fact that I have traveled all over and that I've, grown in my career or that I have, 4 beautiful nephews, whatever. Maybe someone looks at my life and feels the same way for completely different reasons. And we need to stop that. Because we all have made different choices to get to where we are in our lives, and we all walk down different paths. But each path, while different, is still fulfilling and worthwhile. But it's what you make of it. All of this self-hatred and low self-worth is the problem. That's the issue. The bottom line is that you are the one who deems yourself as enough. No one else makes that decision. Have you ever noticed that sometimes when good things are happening in your life, like specifically external things, you get a promotion, or maybe you've entered a new relationship, things like that, you have this natural high. Or you just all over feel better and your self-worth rises? Well, that's because, like I mentioned earlier, you are measuring yourself by all of these external values. If you can relate to any of this, it's time to stop measuring your self-worth, and here's how. First off, take a real look within. Figure out why you even feel the way you do. Accept the fact that you have been using external things to feel that you are good enough and evaluate that. Pinpoint down where you have been struggling to find your self-worth. Ask yourself, how do I feel that my self-worth is being measured by XYZ? Fill in the blank with your struggle. Pinpoint down what you are personally struggling with and feeling like enough, and then ask yourself that. How do I feel that my self-worth is being measured by this? I've done that. I've looked at it, and because there have been times in my life that I have wondered, am I not enough? Why am I not in a relationship? Or why am I not where some of my friends are at? And then I sit with it. So the next step after you think about that and you pinpoint that feeling, sit with that feeling. Think on it. Let yourself feel where all this built-up self-hatred is coming from. That way, you can work on it. Give yourself some credit. You are enough. You always will be. You have gifts that make you the only person who can do certain things, and you're special for those things. You may not be a star basketball player or a multimillionaire, but you have a lot to offer. Hey, maybe one day you will be a multimillionaire, okay? I'm still working toward that. We're all human. We all make mistakes. But what defines you is what you do after. Do not get caught up in this measuring game of self-worth. You will always lose that way. Remember that. You will always lose if you are measuring yourself to others. To win, you embrace being yourself. Being the best you that you can be. Because you are enough. You are valued and you are loved. And don't you ever forget it, okay? I don't want to hear any of y'all finishing this podcast still thinking that you are not enough. Because you are. You are. And if you still don't think it, I need you to repeat the steps above. Go back to what I said, and get to the root of the issue. Think on it, dwell on it, but don't dwell too long, and work on it. Because you are enough. Love y'all. And thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I so appreciate it. If you felt my voice was a little off today, I have been dealing with some unfortunate allergies because Tennessee is trying to kill me with the allergy season. So we will talk soon. Hopefully next week my voice will be less bleh. And love y'all. Bye. Enjoyed this podcast, please like, rate, review, and subscribe on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or pretty much anywhere you can listen to a podcast. For more from me and Callie Chats, visit www.calliecreates.com, or you can check me out on Facebook and Instagram at Callie Creates LLC. Thanks, and talk to you guys later. Bye.